So let's move on to the next question, guys. So I'll just read out the question first. A school's annual budget for the purchase of student computers increased by 60% this year over last year. If the price of the student computers increased by 20% this year, then the number of computers it can purchase this year is what percent greater than the number of computers it purchased last year, right? So this means that the budget increased by 60% as compared to the last year, right? So one thing is that. The second thing is that the price of each computer increased by 20% as compared to the last year, right? So we have to calculate how many more computers, or like what percentage of computers more can we buy as compared to last year's. So this should be simple, not a very complex question, pretty simple. So what we do over here is that in such questions, typically what we do is we take x, then we take some value y, and then we try to perform calculations and take out the value of x and y. But because the exam is such that you need to solve questions pretty quickly, so what we do is that we take some numbers, right? We assume, for example, the budget increased by 60%. So for example, if the budget last year was x, because we don't know what the budget was, so next year it will be x plus 60% of x, right? But in that case, the calculations become a little complex to solve. So what we do is that we try to take 100 mostly in all such questions, and then try to solve, right? So if we talk about the budget, for instance, that the budget is equals to 100. So this is the budget of last year. So let's assume that the budget was 100 last year, right? We know that the budget increased by 60%. So the new budget will be how much? 160, right? Because I hope this is fine. 100 plus 60% of 100. So that is 60 upon 100 into 100. So 160. So I hope this should be fine, right? So the new budget becomes 160, right? Okay. Now tell me one thing. The price of computer increased by 20%. So let's assume the price was 10. Any number, we are just taking 10 for easier calculations, right? So if the price of each computer was 10 last year, so now we know that the price has increased by 20%. So new price is how much? 12, right? The new price becomes 12. Why? Because it increased by 20%. So 10 plus 20% of 10, right? So this is 20 upon 100. So 5, 2. So 10 plus 2 is 12. I hope this should be fine, right? So the new price becomes 12. Now tell me one thing. Total computers. Total computers last year. Total computers in the last year will be how much? The total budget divided by the price of one computer. So that will be 100 by 10, which is equals to 10. So this is the total computers that could be bought last year. And total computers this year is how much? The total new budget is 160 and the price of each computer is 12. So that becomes 160 divided by 12, right? So this comes out to be 40 upon 3. I know, like, the computer can't be in some decimal form, but let's keep it like this for now, right? Okay. Now tell me one thing. So these are the total number of computers which could be bought last year, which is 10. And these are the total number of computers which can be bought this year, which is 40 by 3. And obviously 40 by 3 is how much? It's somewhere close to 13 point something, right? And which is greater than 10. So what is the difference between the two? So the difference will be 40 upon 3 minus 10. So this is a difference of the number of computers. That means this many more computers can be bought this year as compared to last year, right? I hope this is very simple. So this comes out to be how much? This comes out to be 10 by 3. This means that 10 by 3 more computers can be bought this year as compared to last year. So the percentage becomes this, which is 10 upon 3, upon the total number of computers last year, right? Or the original number of computers, you can say. So the original computers are how much? 10, right? Into 100. So 10, 10 cancels. This comes out to be 100 by 3. This comes out to be 100 by 3, which is how much? So 100 by 3 basically equals to 33.33%. So this is the final answer, 33.33%. I hope this should be clear.